Well, hello there. It's Glory with Adventure Hub, and I am still doing the journey to be able to walk Disneyland. And it is week 7 of physical therapy, and let's see, 5 weeks until we go on the trip. And if you're new here, I have had a hip issue in my left hip that I started going to physical therapy for 7 weeks ago, and that has mostly been rectified. Now we're working on my low back mobility because my SI joints are usually what goes at Disney and what puts me in the wheelchair. And now my left SI joint is having issues. I just finished my cardio class at the gym, high fitness, like a little disheveled from all those burpees and all that jumping. But it's the bending over, so getting into the burpee, I don't know, there's something about that SI joint that just doesn't love that. So that's where we are this week. I haven't had a chance for any walking yet. I've been doing pretty well walking, but I just didn't fit it in this week yet. So we will get to that probably this weekend and make sure that's all still going well. But just a little update, I will put a screen record of the new exercises and stretches that they've given me over the past few weeks, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I don't do all of them every day. I don't do all of them most days because I do the classes and things as well as my morning hip stretches in bed, which I've been doing for a few years. So that's where we are, but I will be back with more, and hopefully you are doing well on your fitness journey to be able to be physically prepared for your Disney trip. Well, hello, I'm back and ready for my big walk this week. Today is Sunday. It is a gorgeous day outside, and I'm lucky to have some time to do some walking today. It's been touch and go kind of all week with scheduling. I did do a little bit of walking yesterday. I got in about 15 minutes at one point and then went out for a walk with my sweetie in the evening. So I did get some in there. I didn't track that one, so I don't know how far it was, but it was walking, so that was good. Today we're going to see how it goes. Do still have some video stuff I need to get to today, so probably won't take as long as I would really like to out here. But it's lovely. It will be an enjoyable walk. So far, my body is feeling pretty good. Left hip is mainly good still. Left SI joint, a little bit of struggles, but that's mainly, oddly, when I'm bending forward, not necessarily when I'm walking or standing up. So I guess we'll find out a little bit more about how that's doing today. I have done some more of my PT exercises. I did some yesterday to keep working on the strength. Since we're dropping down to once a week, I want to make sure I keep that maintained. But we haven't been doing a lot of strength exercises the past several times I've gone, mainly digging out stuff, loosening it up, and working on making it feel better. So let's go have a walk. It is just so lovely along here. Passed by a little waterfall a second ago, which was kind of noisy, so we're waiting in here until we get here to turn on the video. But look at this nice little river. I can hear another waterfall just upstream a little bit. I just love having a beautiful place to walk. Get to be outside on a lovely day. There's actually a disc golf course around here. Have you ever played that? I have watched and accompanied, but not played. I'll do the throwing of the things very well. I don't sports a lot, if you know what I mean. There's a reason why I did not do anything with balls when I was a kid. There was soccer for a hot second. Apparently, I stood in the middle of the field and watched the ball go past. Not a lot of hitting or catching, you know, that sort of thing. My jam was individual stuff like ballet. Very nice. I just had a realization. I realized that as I'm going through the parks for the trip in October, I'm going to have a pretty slow pace, I would imagine, because I will be filming videos, not dashing and dodging to the next attraction. So I'm slowing my pace as I walk, which means I will get less steps and less mileage, but will be more appropriate to the endurance I am working toward. So we're chilling. We're walking, we're chilling. It's good. Leaves are falling. It makes me so happy. I don't know if you can see, but there's little red dots on the mountain, which means that the oak trees are starting to turn for fall. Oh, what a lovely fall walk we're having today. This seemed like a really nice place for a break next to my friend the tree. And remember what we were talking about last time about grounding? I believe what I said was correct in that we develop a positive charge because we can't have contact with the negative charge of the earth. And now I'm double guessing. Either way, it's one way or the other. But even just touching something that is grounded, clearly the tree is connected to the ground, has the same benefit as touching the ground itself, which is why things like grounding pads and grounding straps work. I will sleep with a grounding strap, like the kind that people use to work on computers, every night. I've tried grounding sheets, I've tried grounding pads, and grounding pillowcases, none of which I particularly liked. The grounding pad I stuck to during the night. The grounding sheet, as soon as I washed it, the little strips of silver became really sharp and were uncomfortable. And the grounding pillowcase I would stick to. So I went back to just using the strap. I also have a grounding pad at my office. I put it underneath my keyboard and over my wrist rests so that I am in contact with it a lot of the day. So all of that helps. It helps with a lot of things, but inflammation is one. It really helps with our body inflammation. So it's my understanding that most of disease is actually caused by inflammation. So a lot of things we can do to reduce that are going to be beneficial, and grounding is one of them. So I just found a shady spot and doing a little grounding with Mr. Tree here. Hello, Tree. Thank you so much. You might call me a tree hugger, but it's not exactly what I'm doing. So if that's something you're interested in, I believe I bought my straps off of Amazon. Actually, I buy everything off of Amazon. The sheets, there definitely is different quality, and it's based kind of on the materials that are used, but a lot of it too is what you can afford. The straps, it's just an elastic strap that goes around your wrist with a little cord that's very, very lightweight, so it doesn't bother me if my arm gets wrapped around it or something during the night. All of those grounding devices are connected to the ground in your outlet. That is what that's for, if you didn't know. It grounds electricity into the ground in case there is an issue. And so you're literally just plugging that into the little ground hole in your outlet or in your power strip. extension cord, and I have it both ways. You can test to see if it's working by using a multimeter, which I did extensively when I first started using grounding devices because I wanted to make sure they were working. And you do that by testing your own voltage, which varies based on what electricity you're around. So for example, if you've been watching this video series, you've seen me next to my bed. My bed has a plug-in strip next to it to plug in all the stuff I use next to my bed. Alarm clock and the heating pad and all the things and stuff. And so the more electricity you're around, the more your voltage increases. And so to test your voltage with the multimeter, and you have to be very careful as to which hole you're putting the multimeter probe into when you test this, but you're testing into the ground and with one of them, and then onto your skin with the other. And then to test the grounding device, you touch it with the one that you're holding the probe on to make sure your voltage goes down. That's the point of the grounding and the grounding devices. If it doesn't go down, then it's either not grounded, which you can test for as well, or the device doesn't work well. There are, like I said, some devices that work better than others. The grounding sheet that I used had the little silver strips in it, and because they were kind of small, few and far between, I did not ground. My voltage did not go down as quickly when I was using the sheet as when I was using the strap, which is the metal piece on it that touched my skin. So if you want to know a little bit more about grounding, that's a little bit more, you can research on YouTube how to test your voltage and all of that. There are videos, which is how I learned. But just doing a little bit of grounding with the tree here before I move on. I just sure love having beautiful things to look at. What a joy. Hey look, there's some parachuters. I have no idea if we can see those in the camera. There's one last, oh, there I see two. I don't know, they're in there somewhere. Hopefully you can see them. Would you do that? I feel like on a day like today, that might be kind of delightful. But, I don't know. Well, I found another tree, but this time not for the purpose of grounding. I need to do some stretches, so I'm stretching this left hip flexor. That's something that we added to my regimen last week, which seems like a good idea right now. And then, so the hip flexor is in the front of the hip. The piriformis is on the side, and well, sorry, the back. And this stretches that back. Oh, guess I need to do this right now. Okay, it's all right. It's all good. Okay. Oh, dropping the bone. Okay, saved. All right, let's carry on. How long have we been out here? About an hour, walking, talking, and stopping to video lovely things. I hope you don't mind. We're just having a walk and talk, and I thought you might like to see how pretty it is right now. When we went on our last trip to Disney, it was in the, it was at the beginning of February. And trying to walk in the winter was really challenging because it was cold. Oops. And, okay, get my hand out of the way. And while we know how to dress for winter here in Utah, walking while being dressed for winter is kind of another story. So yeah, snow pants and snow boots and my big coat, all good at keeping me warm, but not very conducive to walking. So I didn't get a lot of walking in, And it definitely wasn't lovely out, so just sharing it with you right now. Oh yeah, does that feel amazing? I could not resist. Did you know that that is actually one of the best ways to cool down your core body temperature when you're hot, which I am. According to Andrew Huberman, who does a science-based podcast, the soles of the feet, the palms of the hands, and the upper face have a very particular type of skin that works best for heat conduction. As long as you're not putting it in too cold of water or substance, so rather than ice, cool water. So I'm just kind of dipping the soles of my feet in. Otherwise it constricts the blood vessels. So we're just enjoying a little cooling for a minute. And I guess I'm gonna have to let my feet dry before I put my shoes back on. Where are they? Hello, shoes. And that's a wrap for week 7. Check the Ready to Walk Disneyland playlist for other episodes, or choose an in-park or at-home adventure.